Welcome to the story series of Anaya and Avaya, Guardians of the Night. Episode 13, The Fairy Who Made the World Mini. Hey there, little dreamers. Snuggle in close, pull up your blanket, and let your imagination take flight. Tonight's adventure is about something tiny, but so big in heart. Because sometimes, even when the world feels too big or too lonely, one small act of kindness can make it bright again. So, get cozy, because Avaya and Anaya are about to enter the miniature land, where buildings are the sizes of cereal boxes, cars are smaller than cookies, and one lonely fairy has accidentally made the entire world shrink. Ready? Let's go! Everything around the world started changing in the blink of an eye. Buildings that were once as tall as trees began shrinking until they looked like tiny blocks. Trees lost their enormous branches and became little twigs. Cars, bushes, and even bicycles got so small that you could almost mistake them for toys. Animals were shrinking too. The fluffy cats became about the size of mice, and the birds turned smaller than your hand. Even people woke up confused, stepping out of their front doors, only to find the world looking completely different. Streets that were once wide and long now felt like narrow paths. Parks looked like little gardens with grass, no taller than a blade of hair. Avaya and Anaya, the brave guardians of the night, noticed something funny right away. Their capes, which usually fluttered around them perfectly, suddenly dragged along the floor because their feet felt so tiny. "Anaya, look at this!" Avaya exclaimed, laughing as her cape tickled the floor. "Our capes are way too big for us now." Because before they had time to figure out what was happening, a glowing crystal mirror flickered to life in their room. On its shimmering surface appeared the serious face of Captain Ryan, the leader of the Guardians. He was calling urgently. "Avaya, Anaya," his voice thundered softly through the mirror. "There's a mystery we must solve. Something or someone is making everything shrink. We need you to at the Guardians' Hall, right away." Without delay, the girls grabbed their magical staffs, tied their capes tighter, and stepped towards the mirror. The adventure had begun, and this tiny trouble was about to become bigger than they'd ever imagined. Avaya and Anaya appeared at the Guardians' Hall, a beautiful place, shining with starlight and full of glowing crystals. Captain Ryan waited for them by the great crystal orb, his eyes full of concern. "My brave guardians," he began, "this shrinking is no ordinary magic. It is caused by a fairy named Tinka, a young fairy from Dream Valley. She is new to the world and has a very strong magic, but she's still learning how to control it." Anaya's eyes grew wide. A fairy? But why would she make the whole earth tiny?" Captain Ryan sighed. "Tinka wanted to make friends. She felt lonely because the bigger beings around her were always so busy, rushing about. So she tried to make the world smaller, not realizing that it would become chaos for everyone." Avaya nodded slowly. "So she shrank everything to be the same size as her, hoping people would notice her and play?" "Exactly," Ryan said. "But her magic is powerful and unpredictable. Until we help her, shrinking could get worse." The girls looked at each other, understanding the challenge ahead. They were ready to help the lonely fairy and fix the world. Captain Ryan then opened a swirling crystal portal, glowing with soft blue light. "Step through this portal," he said, "and you'll enter Miniature Land, the magical world where Tinka and the other fairies live, and where all this magic began. But be careful. Everything you see there will be much smaller than what you're used to." Avaya and Anaya took a deep breath, held their hands tight, and stepped into the sparkling portal together. With a pop and whirl of colors, they found themselves standing in a world where buildings were the sizes of cereal boxes, and cars were smaller than cookies. The grass grew tall like trees. "This is Miniature Land," Anaya whispered in wonder, "and our adventure is just beginning." Avaya and Anaya stepped through the glowing portal, their eyes sparkling with wonder. As the swirls of light faded, they found themselves in a magical place unlike anything they'd ever seen before. Miniature Land stretched out all around them, a tiny world that looked like a toy set had come to life. Buildings were made of shiny cereal boxes, their windows sparkling like crystals. Little toy cars zipped down the roads paved with tiny bubbles. The swings in the playground were smaller than their hands, and the bushes were no bigger than ants. Above them, the clouds floated like soft cotton balls, and the sky seemed just as close to them to touch. The grass grew tall and thick, almost like a jungle, making the girls feel even smaller than before. The girls laughed as they skipped down the colorful cobblestone street. "Look at this place," Avaya whispered excitedly. "It's like stepping inside of a storybook." But while the scenes were magical, the girls quickly realized something else. The little people they saw around looked worried and scared. One tiny man stumbled past, looking up at a puddle that stretched out like a lake. Ice cubes in a nearby kitchen window looked like huge boulders. Now I frowned. This isn't just fun and games. People are really struggling here. The girl knew that they had to find the source of the magic and help the people of Miniature Land before things got worse. As Avaya and Anaya followed the cobblestone path, they reached a small town called Pocket City. The buildings looked like colorful matchboxes lined up neatly. Tiny lights twinkled in shop windows, and little people bustled around, trying to fix a world that felt too big for them. "Help! What do we do?" a tiny woman called out, holding a piece of paper nearly as big as herself. Avaya and Anaya knelt down to listen. The townsfolk explained that every day things had become giant obstacles. Ice cubes were massive boulders they couldn't move. Puddles felt like deep lakes that blocked their way. And even simple winds felt like strong storms that knocked things over. Anaya smiled gently. "Don't worry. We'll help you find shelter." The girls thought quickly and spun an empty matchbox. "Look," Avaya said, "this matchbox can be a perfect hotel for you all. It's dry, warm, and safe." Together, they gathered the townspeople and helped them climb inside the cozy Matchbox Hotel. They arranged soft leaf beds and tiny flower petals as blankets. The people sighed in relief, hugging Avaya and Anaya. "Thank you. You're like giant angels," one tiny man said gratefully. But the girls knew this was just the beginning. They had to keep searching for Fairy Tinka and help her fix the shrinking magic before the world became too tiny to live in. Hand in hand, Avaya and Anaya prepared to follow the trail of sparkling fairy dust that glittered like tiny stars on the path ahead. With the tiny townsfolk safe in the Matchbox Hotel, Avaya and Anaya followed a shimmering trail of blue fairy dust that sparkled like a tiny star on the ground. The dust seemed to glow softly, lighting their way through now what looked like a vast jungle of grass and flowers. Every blade of glass towered above them like a giant tree, and colorful flowers swayed gently in the breeze. The girls felt small and curious, their footsteps sounding like tiny taps on the soft earth. As they walked, a cheerful ladybug buzzed down and landed on Avaya's shoulder. "Hello," the ladybug said in a tiny, musical voice. "I'm Lila. I know this forest well. Are you looking for Fairy Tinka?" Avaya smiled. "Yes, we are. Can you help us find her?" Lila nodded and waved her tiny wings. "Follow me. I'll show you the way." Just then, a small mouse, wearing a little cap and sitting in a leaf vault, appeared. "I'm Max, your taxi driver through the forest," he squeaked. "Hop on, this way it's faster." The girls laughed and climbed up into Max's leaf vault. The journey was magical, passing shimmering puddles that looked like lakes, hopping over fallen leaves, and gliding past the sparkling mushrooms that glowed in the dim light. Together, Lila and Max, Avaya and Anaya felt brave and hopeful. They were getting closer to the heart of miniature land, and to the fairy who held all the magic and the answers. At the top of a gentle hill covered with bright daisies, Avaya and Anaya finally found Fairy Tinka. She sat on a giant daisy petal. Her tiny wings were drooping, and her eyes full of sadness. Tinka looked up with a soft smile. "Hello," she whispered. "I didn't mean to cause any trouble. I just wanted to play and to be noticed. But everyone was always too busy, too big, or too fast." Anaya knelt beside her. "You're not alone, Tinka. We're here now, and we want to be your friends." Tinka's eyes sparkled, but the tears began to fall. "I thought if the world was smaller, maybe people would have time for me. But everything feels strange, and I didn't want to scare anyone." Avaya gently took Tinka's hand. "We understand. Sometimes feeling small can make you wish the world would change. But making the world smaller isn't the answer. Friends won't care about size. They care about kindness." Together, they sat under the giant daisy, sharing stories and dreams. The girls promised to help Tinka use her magic for joy, not sadness. Just then, Tinka sneezed. A tiny puff of sparkling dust floated up, and a small part of the sky above them shrank even more. The girls realized quickly that her feelings were connected to the magic, and they had to find a way to cheer her up fast before the shrinking spell grew stronger. Tinka's tiny sneeze sent a shower of sparkling dust into the air. Avaya and Anaya watched in awe as a part of the sky above miniature land shimmered and shrank even more. Clouds, once as fluffy as cotton puffs, began to shrink until they looked like tiny specks. Anaya looked worried. Tinka, your magic is connected to your feelings. The sadder and scared you get, the smaller everything becomes. Tinka nodded, tears sparkling like tiny stars in her eyes. I don't want to be lonely. I just want to be noticed. But now it feels like everything is falling apart. Avaya took both Tinka's hands gently. We're here for you, and we're going to help you feel happy again. You don't have to be alone. The girl thought hard about what might cheer up the lonely fairy and bring back the world to its normal size. They decided that a celebration filled with laughter and fun and friendship would be just the right magic. Avaya and Anaya got to work planning a tiny party right on the giant daisy where Tinka sat. They gathered tiny ingredients to make cupcakes just her size, crumbs from cookies, drops of honey, and bits of colorful flower petals for frosting. With giggles and smiles, the girls baked a mini cupcake and decorated them with magical dust that glittered underneath the moonlight. Next, they sang silly songs and danced in circles, reminding Tinka of joyful moments. They told funny jokes that made them all giggle until Tinka's eyes sparkled with laughter. Wait, look! Avaya pointed from Tinka's wand. Bright sparkles shot out like fireworks, filling the night air with twinkling light. The magic of laughter and friendship was working. The world around them began to grow. Grass blades stood straighter, clouds popped up, and the sky stretched wide again. Tinka smiled brightly. Thank you, Avaya and Anaya. I feel happy now, and the world feels big and beautiful again. The girls hugged their new friend tight, knowing that the power of kindness and laughter could fix even the biggest troubles. With Tinka smiling and her magic sparkling brightly, Avaya and Anaya held her tiny hands. Together, they said the special reversal spell of friendship. Big hearts bring the world to size through laughter, care, and twinkling eyes. A golden wave of light spread from Tinka's wand, blowing across miniature land. Buildings were taller, trees stretched their branches upwards, and animals returned to their normal size. People smiled as their world became just the right size to live in and play in once again. Captain Orion appeared beside them, his face shining with pride. Well done, Guardians. You have saved not only just miniature land, but the whole world. Friendship and kindness are the strongest magic of all. Tinka hugged Avaya and Anaya tightly. Thank you for being my friends and helping me understand that being small doesn't mean you have to be lonely. The girls laughed and promised to visit the magical fairy whenever she wanted. The sky twinkled above as everything settled back to its perfect normal size. Avaya and Anaya looked around, feeling happy and proud. Captain Orion's voice echoed gently. Remember, little dreamers, even the smallest heart can make the biggest difference. Tinka waved her hand and her wand, sending a trail of shimmering stars that lit up the sky like a sparkling necklace. As Avaya and Anaya lay down to rest, the stars blinked softly above them, and the world felt peaceful and bright once more. The girls whispered to each other, no matter how tiny we feel sometimes, kindness and friendship makes us mighty. Good night, little dreamers. Snuggle up warm, close your eyes, and let your imagination take you to magical places where anything is possible. Remember, your heart is bigger than you know, and your kindness lights up the world. If you love this adventure, don't forget to share it with your friends and subscribe to join Avaya Anaya on their next magical journey. Sleep tight and sweet dreams until we meet again.